Hello and welcome to Perry Pencil. To all newcomers, subscribe now and be alerted whenever I upload a new video. Hello everyone, this is Perry Pencil at it again. This video is long overdue. There are artists who draw very well, but just can't seem to nail down drawing fists. You may want to become a professional illustrator one day. One thing I've experienced firsthand at the Comic-Con is expectation from editors and writers. They expect you to draw fists for action comics, hands and feet for general or realistic storytelling. I want everyone who may want a professional career to know how to draw hands and the tough stuff. In this video, I'm going to talk you through the process of drawing fists step by step. For those of you who are new to this channel, welcome. For those of you who have been with me for a while, thanks for stopping by. Alright, let's go ahead and get started on drawing some fists, shall we? Alright, so starting right out of the gate, I plan to have two fists right and left, and two fists at the bottom profile. And again, as I stated before, fists are very important, and you want to be able to draw fists no matter what. If it calls for it, you want to be able to get the fist drawn properly. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and that's why I'm here today. Hope everyone is doing good. First thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and divide the page in half. I already did here, which is the horizontal line, and then you could follow me as well and do a vertical line down like this. The point of this is to have the two fists here and the two fists at the bottom. That's kind of how I'm going to set the drawing up so that you can follow along and kind of see what I'm doing. And I'm going for almost like as if Superman is flying, or any character that flies. You want to be able to draw those fists correct. So let's go ahead and get started. In box, I now number it, box number 1. Let's go ahead and put a square within this box. It's going to be a box within a box, so this is going to kind of help you get an understanding of where you want to place the fist inside of another shape. It kind of help make things even. And the first thing I normally do when I'm drawing fists is within this square. Okay, make sure you're following what I'm doing here. Within this square, you want to put an arc inside of this. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. So you put an arc inside the square, and then do the same thing at the bottom here, like this. And what you want to do is you want to put 4 lines. You want to put 1, 2, well actually 3 lines, because it makes 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so just to kind of recap what I'm doing here is I got an oval here, an oval shape here, and then 3 lines within that. The next thing you want to do is we want to put circles in for our knuckle placement, which would be number 1, the index finger, number 2, which would be the middle finger, 3, drop that down. If you notice, it follows the arc. And then finally the pinky. And then after that, what we want to do is we want to drop down. Whenever you're drawing fists, remember you have the middle finger and index finger. The thumb is going to drop between the two, like this. Alright, once you've done and if you've gotten to this point, don't worry about it looking funny, because if you notice it looks funny here because the circles and all of that, it's not going to look exactly perfect yet. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding some detail between the index and middle finger. So what you want to do is you want to bring this around like this. If you notice, I kind of have this shape going here. And then for the index finger on the outside of that, you want to go here. And then that's going to wrap around like this.
And notice I'm using the shapes that I put here already. If you followed along so far and you've done the same thing, it's going to make it easier for you to follow yourself, or to draw these knuckles and the details of the fist, because I'm essentially drawing around each shape. All right, once you've done that, we're going to go to the middle knuckle and go here like this. And notice I'm not going past this border that I put here within the square. So I kind of know my limitations, and if you follow along, you'll have limitations as well, so that the knuckle don't go up too high and look strange, or look like the knuckle is broken or something like that. And from there, if you notice, you could simply just follow all the other circles that form the fist, the contour that is. And then for the pinky, because it's the lowest, you're going to come off of that, and that's going to be the lowest. Notice I'm following this arc perfectly. So that's the key. The key is that you want to follow these shapes as close as possible. And notice I'm coming around this circle to put the knuckle indication there, just like I did with the index finger over here. And at this point, it's okay to go dark, because what's happening is I want to get rid of all of these other lines so that you can see exactly what I'm doing here. And then around the pinky, you want to go ahead and put a line there, just like this. And I'll show you why. And you want to have the pinky itself come around and wrap this way. All right, we're going to deal with the ring finger. So you're going to follow this line like this, and then come around just like this. Notice it's not as hard as you may think. It just takes practice and doing it over and over again lots of times, to the point where you know it like you know the back of your own hand. And then for the middle finger, it's going to kind of be even, because it's kind of leading every other shape off. And I'm actually going ahead and, if you have a kneaded eraser, if not, that's fine. You can use the end of your mechanical pencil. But I'm going here and clean up this a little bit, and I'll show you why in just a minute, and then the pinky as well. All right, so you can see clearly what's going on is that we want the finger shapes to be the way it should be. The pinky is going to drop the lowest, and then the index finger is going to be right next to that. And then you have the middle finger here, and then the index finger here. Okay, now we're going to come down to the bottom and get the thumb shape there. We're going to round that off just like this, and then come around just to get the shape of the thumb, and then get that knuckle shape in. And I'm going for, of course, comic book form of a fist. I'm not going for a realistic fist, so there you have it. It's going to look more like a comic book style. And off of this pinky knuckle, I'm going to come around and get the fat part of the palm. That's this part here that when you flex it here, you see the muscle coming around that way. And it's actually going to go around the pinky itself, come in, and then it's going to come down underneath like this. So it's going to kind of come in the center of the thumb, so that way you're forming the rest of the fist out there. All right, we're going to go back in and add minor detail here to this knuckle. You know, kind of come in like so, and then do the same thing with the index finger. Notice again, as light as this may be, I'm going right off of the circles that I already put in place. Middle finger, same thing. Move away so you can see what I'm doing. Now I like to add the knuckle in as much as possible, just to kind of give it a little bit more depth of the bones and you see the detail a little bit more. All right. Now what we're going to add here is going to be the thumbnail, because that's the only nail that you're going to see, because of course all the other fingers are going back into the palm, so you don't see that. So now the final thing to do with these, each individual finger, is to add a little bit of some lines here to give indication that the finger is balling up, and you can see the wrinkles of the knuckle. Just add minor detail. And then do the same thing for the thumb. All right, now the first fist is done. And we're gonna move on to the second fist, box number 2. We'll do the same thing. We'll try and measure this as much as possible. Put a line here, and then go ahead and put this square within the square. You notice I moved that line over just a little bit. You can always eyeball things to try and see you can get it to match as much as possible. And if you are not sure, you can always take your index and your thumb, and then right on the edge here, notice I use my thumb and my index to try and keep it as much as possible. And there you go. You can bring that line down like that and try and get that this side to match as much as possible. Do not be discouraged. I encourage you to go ahead on and draw this. Don't spend too much time trying to be perfect and match it. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm just showing you some things that can give you some simple techniques to do it, like measurements to the hand and all of that. And all I'm gonna do with the thumb is just come down here and put a line down here, and I'll get rid of it later when I clean it up later in the video. All right, so it's gonna be same thing on this side, where you have the arc that comes in almost up near the top and around to the side. Same thing at the bottom to kind of get that shape going on. And then of course dropping that thumb in, which I'll wait a little bit because I want to get the knuckles in first, like I did on the other side. Coming up like this, around, and then the pinky. So just like we started before, off of the knuckle, the index finger, you want to come around like so. And off that that index knuckle, you want to come around like this. And just kind of keep things as even as possible. Bring that around. And do the same thing here with the middle knuckle. And then with the ring knuckle, and then a pinky. Just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and then get that middle finger in. And as I said before, the idea is to get it as close as possible. And you got the ring finger, and you can kind of see the knuckle here. And then of course with the pinky, like I said, on the other side, you want to have it come out of the side here and wrap around under. Now we can go back and with the thumb add that in there. And again, it's right in between the index and middle finger. So So thumb's gonna come right around here like this. You're gonna go ahead and put that thumbnail in. And just like we did when drawing number 1, we're gonna have that, the fat, if you will, of the palm come around and come up in there like this. I'm gonna add those details of the knuckles here, just like this. And actually what I want to do is, just because it's a little, it needs to be a little lower, I'm gonna bring this knuckle down. Just like that. All right, and just like with this drawing, we're going to add those flexion folds of the flesh with the knuckles, and they kind of pinch at the ends here. And the same thing with the pinky. All right, and let's pull back for a minute, and as you can see, we got the 2 fists. All right, now we're going to go to drawing number 3, which would be in this box. And what I want to show here is a fist from the pinky side profile. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start off with a circle. I think it's just the best way to go. And then off of that, you want to put almost a triangular shape. And then off of that, you want the wrist to go off the page. Just like this. And what we're essentially doing, we have 3 forms here as we're putting it together to have the fist in the place where we want it to be on the page. So I'm going to start off with the pinky. You'll put the knuckle there, and then go ahead and go down to the bottom of this. Use this shape here to know where your ending is. And around this circle I did here, you want to go ahead and drop a shape in. And with the pinky, the trick is, it's difficult sometimes to try and get something to look natural, but you want to go off of this shape here, the circle, and then you'll have that palm, which is the meaty part of the inside of the fist, come around like this. And of course this pinky, we're going to go ahead and add a knuckle here so we could show how it folds back up into the palm. And the easiest thing is to have another line come out like this. So I'll back up so you can see what I'm doing so far. Now we're going to go to the top off of the wrist and just go off of the shape here, and kind of the wrist bone here is going to stick out and protrude just a little bit, and then take that off the page. And from the bottom, you're going to go into the actual palm, and then there's going to be another side of the palm, the lower side, excuse me. And then the top part of the fist here to come around for the rest of the fingers, which would be right here. Now you don't see all the rest of the fingers is because they are hidden by the pinky itself. So you'll see the pinky, then you'll see the ring finger, a little bit of the middle finger. And then the rest the index finger you don't see. All right, we can put a circle right here, very light, and then come off of this so we can add that thumb. The thumb is going to come down like this, and it's going to come underneath this way. So it folds back into the fist. And you see a little bit of the nail, the thumbnail, like that. And so that is the fist from the outside where you see the pinky. Bring this line down just a little bit. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the thumb side. So let's go ahead and put a line across like this, and do the same thing we did with this side. Let's have kind of like a triangular shape. Then have a circle here, and then for the forearm going off the page like this. And to kind of match how low it is, we have a line going across this way. When I put these lines here, of course, it's to match up from the right from the left, so it can somewhat have the same kind of effect. All right, so let's go ahead and do the same thing here, but the difference is that the thumb is going to be on this side, so it's going to be a little different. So we're going to put a circle here, because off of this wrist, we're going to come around this way, and then come down this way. And this is going to be another circle here for this part of the thumb. And we're going to come up with a line here, and then take this line to wrap around. And just like we did with the pinky here, the index finger is going to be here. So we're going to try and line up as much as possible. And then off of this, have this index finger come around. And like the pinky on the other side, is going to wrap under. And then have that line come in this way. And then the thumb wraps around that. And as I stated earlier, it takes a lot of practice. Do not get discouraged. Do not feel like throwing in the towel. The idea is to watch this video as many times as it takes to get it. That's the only way you're going to get something down, is by doing it over and over again until you don't need anything in your but your mind to kind of produce it. You know, no reference, stuff like that. You can just go ahead and draw fists. Because again, when it comes down to drawing a full figure, you don't want to have to go to Google or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with using reference, but sometimes you need to be able to just get the job done with memory. And then have this go off like this, forearm. All right. Oh, drawing number 4, of course. Let's try and bring this down a little bit just to match the other side. All right. If you followed me up to this point, I've shown you basically the 2 fists as if Superman's flying, so his head would kind of come here, be really small because these are coming towards the camera. And then we got the thumb on the outside, and the index finger, then we got the pinky on the other side. So you see both sides of this fist, and you see these 2 fists flying forward, excuse me. Definitely thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you hanging out with me all the way up to this point. And what I'm going to do is what I normally do, is clean all of this up, make it look nice and neat for the end of the video.
I hope this video brings clarity regarding how to draw fists. If you thought this video was great, give it a thumbs up. If you thought this video wasn't necessary, thanks for stopping by anyway. And until next time, keep drawing and stay positive.
Hey, do me a favor. Give this video a like and subscribe if you want to live.